We have all been there. You have a partner or maybe a friend who does something genuinely hurtful, but instead of getting angry, you find yourself bending over backward to make excuses for them. Their charm or their looks somehow makes you want to put the pieces back together and pretend the mess never happened. That exact emotional trap, twisting your own logic to forgive someone who betrayed you, is the core subject of Shakespeare's Sonnet 41. Shakespeare documented this specific relationship drama over 4 centuries ago as part of a collection called the Fair Youth Sequence. It was a series of poems addressed directly to an incredibly attractive young man. We are going to translate this 17th century English text line by line into simple, everyday language. By the end, we'll be able to see the emotional logic that drives the entire poem. Because even though the language has changed since 1609, the messy, frustrating combination of betrayal and affection is exactly the same today. The poem opens with the speaker noticing his partner's bad behavior. He says, "Those pretty wrongs that liberty commits, when I am sometime absent from thy heart." He is pointing out that his partner tends to wander off and make mistakes whenever they spend time apart. Pay attention to the phrase, pretty wrongs. Normally, a wrong is a serious offense. By calling it pretty, the speaker immediately softens the blow. This scale shows exactly what is happening in his head. He argues that his partner's attractiveness outweighs the bad behavior. He keeps building this defense in the next lines. "Thy beauty and thy years full well befits, for still temptation follows where thou art." Instead of holding the young man accountable for his choices, the speaker blames his youth and beauty. He reasons that temptation naturally follows good-looking people around like a shadow. From here, the speaker's logic starts running downhill fast. He writes, "Gentle thou art, and therefore to be won." Meaning, because you are so kind, people can easily talk you into things. Then he adds, "Beauteous thou art, therefore to be assailed." Because you are beautiful, other people are constantly throwing themselves at you. He caps off this thought with a rhetorical question. "And when a woman woos, what woman's son will sourly leave her till he have prevailed? What man alive could possibly resist when a woman actively pursues him?" This entire first half of the poem serves one goal. It strips away the young man's agency. The speaker uses this twisted logic to convince himself that the betrayal wasn't a choice, but an inevitability. But then the defense attorney act collapses. In the very next line, the speaker writes, "Ah me, but yet thou mightst my seat forbear." That tiny exclamation, "ah me," is the sound of real human pain breaking through the logical excuses. He tells the young man to "my seat forbear." In simple English, you could have at least avoided taking my place. The sting here is incredibly specific. The young man cheated by getting involved directly with the speaker's own lover. The tone completely shifts. The speaker commands him to chide thy beauty and thy straying youth. He is telling him to exercise some self-control. For the very first time in the poem, he demands that the young man take responsibility for his own actions. This diagram maps out the climax of the betrayal, what Shakespeare calls a twofold truth, or a double broken promise. The young man fractured his loyalty in 2 directions. He betrayed the speaker, and he betrayed the woman involved, dragging both of them into his reckless behavior. The poem exposes a harsh reality. You can rationally understand exactly why someone did something hurtful, and you can map out all their situational temptations, but that understanding does absolutely nothing to lessen the emotional damage they leave behind. We reach the end of the drama in the final 2 lines. Shakespeare summarizes the entire situation. "Hers by thy beauty tempting her to thee, thine by thy beauty being false to me." To put that in modern terms, your attractiveness tempted her away from me, and those exact same good looks caused you to be unfaithful. There is a tragic irony hidden in this ending. Look at this cycle. Despite the pain and despite demanding accountability just lines earlier, the speaker still circles back to blaming an abstract concept. He blames beauty. He just cannot bring himself to hold the young man fully accountable, so the cycle loops right back to making excuses. This is why Sonnet 41 remains so powerful today. It captures the reality that relationships are endlessly complex. We are fully capable of looking right at someone's devastating faults, recognizing the pain they cause, and yet somehow continuing to love and forgive them anyway. Have you ever found yourself making excuses for someone's pretty wrongs? Share your experience in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown of classic literature.